Since 2010, there has been a connection between the increase of anxiety and depression and social media use among teens.
Yeah, and to help explain more about recent findings and to offer some help on how we can make it better in our houses, we're joined by family therapist, Dr. Catherine Smerling. Thanks so much for being with us this morning, Doctor. Let's launch right into it. What is it about our smartphones and social media that's causing this spike in anxiety and depression in our young and older children?
There are many things that are causing the spike. And in recent years, between 2010 and 2019, there's been a 50% spike in anxiety and mental illness for teenagers. There's a spike in eating disorders and a spike in all kinds of mental health anxiety disorders. This is due to, the overuse of phones. Now, phones, like anything else, and the internet, like anything else, is a balance. It enables us to communicate with our loved ones, and this was especially true during the pandemic. But it also is addictive, and it's excessive for kids, especially young girls and young boys, to be involved in screens all the time. You forget about looking eye to eye and communicating with someone on a feeling basis, because very often the screens mask the ability to emotionally connect.
All right,
and
Doctor,
during the pandemic, I'm sorry.
Yeah, let's talk about this. Let's get into some nitty gritty. There's YouTube, there's TikTok, there's Instagram. These are the most widely used apps among kids. Which social media platforms have you found affect teens most negatively? Is there a difference between any of them?
Well, there's Instagram, which promotes a FOMO, certainly an unreal expectations of how we're supposed to look. There's TikTok, which is now called X, which may be outlawed in the United States anyway. And there is Snapchat, which is a very popular app to connect pictures and stories as they're happening to other people. So it's a way to communicate, but it's a way to communicate with a veil. It's not actual communication by telling someone a story, a narrative, a communication device. It is a device, exactly that.
And we're talking about nationally here how the Biden administration is and Congress is looking to ban TikTok. Are we seeing that is a step that we need in the mental health crisis, even though they're saying that they're doing it for data reasons? And let's talk specifically about how parents can get their kids peeled away from these apps and the phones so that they can get that eye-to-eye connection you were talking about.
It's actually not as hard as it seems, because all you have to do is ask your children to put their phones by the door in a basket when they come home. They finish their homework. They have a certain dedicated time to use Instagram and social media, and they can do that for 45 minutes, and then they have to maybe come to dinner. They put away their phones again. So there has to be some kind of adult supervision, and sometimes parents are afraid to make that supervisory method because they feel as though their kids are going to get angry at them. Well, they might. But that's okay.
And that's our job as parents, too, to be a limiter to our children's behaviors. And I know a lot of us also try to program in and find other things for our kids to do, like sports, like arts, like music, so that they're away from their phones.
An antidote to any kind of technical devices is being physically active, being outside, being physically active. And encourage your family, especially now because it's becoming more beautiful out, that balance the outside with the inside. So take a walk, do something in nature, appreciate nature, leave your phones behind. If you want to take pictures of nature, have one designated person to be the photographer.
Doctor, have you found in your time... Have you found that kids actually have an intuitive suggestion or two about how they have successfully tried to pull themselves back?
Yes, they actually put away their phones. They actually are in families in which the parents put away their phones and designate a certain time for screen time and a certain time for homework time, a certain time for family time. There have to be boundaries set. And the boundaries have to be set by the adults, because the kids sure as as anything are not going to set their own boundaries.
That's
if
right.
they
And you know
don't.
what? And we as parents also need to set the right example. No phones at the breakfast and the dinner tables, making sure we have those phone-free zones. Thank you so much for joining us and wading into this space, Dr. Smerling, as we all try to keep our kids healthier. We appreciate you.
Thank you. And that's my goal too, as well. Thank you
Thanks.
very much.
Thank you, doctor.